Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Key Wisdom. My name is Ruth. I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot reader for today. And this, my darlings, is the message that you need to hear. Now, as you know, this is, before I continue, I will put a timestamp below for when the reading starts because I might talk for a few minutes. But you can just see that. Anyway, my darlings, how are you doing? So, inspired today to do another reading now. As I said in the last reading that I'm if you've been following, our loyal Key Wisdom viewers, you know the shifts and the changes that have been occurring this year. I mean, obviously you've seen evidence of that around you, but having the corona, having the time to step back and to really experience life, what it's like to live in the physical body, what it's like to, what does your brain do, living mindfully fully is a beautiful thing, for me. And so we've been on that path, haven't we, or I have been, I suppose, of uncreated meaning, of observing the nature of the mind, observing the nature of healing and reality, of consciousness. And it's been a really interesting and really healthy place to be, and it really has. The learning has been amazing. So I actually yesterday, for the first time, it's been 30 years in the making, 33 and I'm 37 and I actually wrote yesterday my very first tantra. Now, a tantra is if you Google tantra, it will say magical text or magical writing. It isn't, I mean, some people may perceive it to be magical, but it's not magical. The text tantras, the actual real tantras, if you will, are written by Buddhas. So Buddhas are the term Buddha means enlightened or awakened. The first Buddha, the first person that we think of as Buddha, lived between 400 and 600 BC in Nepal. And there we go. Okay. And interesting. And so tantras are basically teachings, if you will. And they are, I like to think of them as poems, really, but they're teachings, if you will. And what they are is to give, how I describe it is, when you read a tantra also means unbroken chain. But when you read a tantra, in meditation, you are given the experience of what that tantra is embodying. So there's tantras on all sorts, everything from perfected discrimination, discriminative awareness, I should say. There's all sorts of tantras, from the nature of the mind, awareness, the cyclic existence, all sorts. And they are protected texts, sacred texts. So mine isn't really a tantra because it's not protected or sacred, but what it does do is it gives you an idea of the nature of, so the experience of the nature of something. So the nature of the mind, for example, or in my case, the first one that I wrote the other day was the nature of the self. So it is, I suppose, a tantra in a sense is something that helps you to, one, understand the term the self. So what is self? What is that? So it helps you to so it does all these things in one. It helps you to understand what the term means. It helps you to experience that term which is being expressed. And I say expressed because it's not a description. A tantra is not a description. A tantra is not a definition. A tantra gives you the opportunity to, one, understand the definition of that term. So in this case, the one that I wrote myself was the self. It gives you the experience. It allows you to mindfully experience the self. It allows you to mindfully experience what it feels like to be a body, what it feels like to be a person, what it feels like to be a sentient being. And it also helps to imprint. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of mindfulness, to imprint the experience of that moment for you. That's what a tantra does. So I call mine a modern tantra because I'm not a Buddha. I'm not. I mean, I am definitely awakened, but a Buddha I am not. I mean, honestly, I've had some really interesting conversations with myself and some really interesting discussions and philosophical writing and all sorts of things over the last few weeks. It's been beautiful, and you will get to, I mean, let me know what you think actually. I mean, because in my mind I'm like, for 30 years I've been trying to write this. I didn't know what a tantra was. I didn't know what I was trying to write 30 years ago, but I knew that what I wanted to write would do what I just described, but I didn't know that a tantra existed. I didn't know anything about that, and I didn't even know until I sat down and wrote it that this is a tantra and this is what I've been trying to write for the last 30 years. So there'll be about 12, or if I wrote a list of how many anyway. So there'll be other ones. So there's the self. It starts off with the self, then it goes to mindfulness and the nature of the mind. So there'll be a tantra on that. There'll be a tantra on reality, the cyclic existence, reality, the two truths, another reality, then there'll be one on conscious, experiencing consciousness, the aggregates of consciousness, all these different things. And you will be able to, and I will do a commentaries for them as well. Now this is going to be a book because that's always been, since 7 years old, write a book. So that's what this will be, a book. But I will share some of these, and obviously you can buy the book when it's written and and available. You can buy it. It won't be obviously now, but in a few months or whatever. But I will be doing the commentaries, because when you learn or follow the path of enlightenment, or the Buddha path, if you will, then traditionally the Buddhas would teach disciples. So they would have, so the original Buddha, if you will, he had, I think it was it 10 disciples? And then the Buddha that went into, he was called they're all Sanskrit words, Pasam Masam Bhava. He's the Buddha that went into Tibet, so from India into Tibet in the 8th century to obviously to share, to preach, to teach the principles of Buddhism and the path and the enlightened path. So so this is what I've been doing. So you will be able to read them, but what you do, you have your tantras or sutras. There's tantras and sutras. I won't go into the intricacies of the differences right here, right now, because this is a tarot reading, but you'll be able to see that difference. But anyway, so you have tantra sutras, and you also have commentaries that go along with them. So I'll be providing commentaries as well with them. So the book will be, you know, the 11 or 10, or I can't remember how many there are now. I wrote, anyway, the sutras, the tantras, because they are tantras, not sutras. And you'll be able to read those, obviously, meditative, have an experience of what it is like to mindfully embody mindfulness, what it is like to mindfully embody the physical body, the soul energy body. There's one in there and that as well. So anyway, so you'll get my commentary as well, which basically all these type of things that I talk about and don't really give you much detail about in my readings or on my channel. Eventually you'll get to see those, but it brings up a lot of interesting conversation about, anyway, I'm going to talk about these. It brings up a lot of interesting conversations. Okay, my darling. So welcome. Now, as I said, I'm not going to be doing, I know and feel right now that I can't be talking about Capricorn and Taurus and Virgo and all the different star signs and earth signs, and I ain't going to be doing that. You know, again, that's something else I'll talk about. That comes into mental consciousness, by the way, but and consciousness of form and discriminative awareness. I know I'm talking fast. I don't need you to tell me that, okay? Okay, my darling. So we're going to look at what we need to know. This is what we need to hear right now. And we have the card at the base of the reading, underlying message, you know, something that we need to be sort of thinking of, focused on, and we've got number 2, number 3. We've got the 2 of swords here, which is sword energy is about our mental, or is about our consciousness, our conscious mind, our engagement with our consciousness. So our ability to think and our ability to form thought, our ability to make decisions, etc. Number 2s are about our commitments and partnerships and duality, balance, etc. So this is about really our, this is about decision or potentially indecision. It's about commitment to a way of thinking, or it could relate to our ignorance of something. It could relate to, number 7 really, 7 of swords is about where we struggle to believe or struggle to accept or struggle to acknowledge, for example. But this is ignorance, and in ignorance sense, it's a sense that we might not really know that we're committed to a way of thinking. We might not really realize that we are not seeing the full picture or not thinking fully about something. So we're looking at what's going to be, the sun. So the sun, I always do my readings like this for some reason, sun, moon and stars. So where we are headed, what the things that the things that we will see that are manifested, the things that are going to be oncoming to us, and then also what's beneath the surface, and then what's going to be in our future, if you will, and our destiny, or where this path is leading us. So we start with the world, and then we have the Tower, we have the Magician, and we have the 2 of Wands. So we've got 3 major arcanas here, and look at the changes that are abound. And it's not just change that's abound, it's change, it's time to move forward of our own volition. It's interesting because I was having this conversation last night, and a couple of days ago, this is what I started to feel. So what day is it today? It's Sunday today. So maybe about Wednesday, this is what I started to feel myself, in a sense of, I'll explain it to you this way. I've mentioned tantra. This is interesting actually, because this is what tantra is. Tantra is a continuum, an unbroken chain. It's got many different definitions, but it's a continuum, an unbroken chain. And I was thinking about the path of healing, or the path of enlightenment, or the path of awareness, if you will, growing in our understanding in something, growing in our understanding of my understanding of myself, and his understanding of himself, etc. And how does that happen? What's the process that we go through that helps to open up our eyes, that helps to wake us up, that helps to increase our awareness? And I was thinking about this, and it's the tantra path, and I'll explain it to you now. So we start off as in the vehicle. We'll call it the greater vehicle. There is such a thing in Buddhism. We'll call it the greater vehicle. And anyway, it's called the lesser actually, but there's 2. Anyway, so we're in the vehicle, and you are a passenger in that vehicle, and you don't know where you're going, and you're maybe kind of just being driven along by destiny, by events. Something happens, yeah? So that you could say that was Corona, you could say that was lockdown, right? So we're just being driven along in this vehicle. And then we get stronger, and we're still going along this road, this path, but no one's driving us anymore. We have to walk. We have to do our own walking. We have to get out the bus. We have to get out the car. We have to get out the vehicle, and we've got to walk. And we just kind of walk around, and we kind of follow the signposts, and we don't know where we're going necessarily, but I'm feeling a bit stronger that I'm going to try start and walk. And that's what kind of started happening, sort of. We'd had lockdown for a few weeks, so the sort of shock of lockdown and Corona got through it. And then we started thinking, okay, how can I use this time? Yeah, how can I use this time? How can I, what can I do? And you're sort of feeling your way around. You're sort of feeling your way around this new landscape. And then the third part of the journey is when you are driving the bus. It's when you have picked a destination. It's when you are confident to take on that vehicle and to drive it into your destiny, into your future, into what you want. You're saying that, okay, this is what I now want to do. This is what I now know. This is what I've learned being a passenger on the bus, and then navigating, feeling my way through this new landscape. And now I'm the one driving it. Now I'm the one, choosing the direction. Now I'm the one ready to go. That's exactly what this first row represents. the world card is the end of that journey, isn't it? The world card, you think you're the fool, you've gone through the whole of the major arcana, and now you arrive here at this new world. And what you have here at this new world is all access to all that you've learned. You have the, gosh, that's where I started, and I felt like that, and I thought like that, and this is what I did back then. And then you walk and you realize that along the way, you pick things up, you learn, you grow in strength, you release things, you heal, you develop, you transform. And at the end of that journey, and at the beginning of this new one, which is where we're all at now. And I told you back in, when was it, June, I think, May, that August is going to be the time that things are going to be changing. And this is really what we see here. We see that, I mean, we're getting to August. I don't know what date it is today, but we're getting to August now. And, I really feel like this is what's happening. We're starting this where we're driving the bus, where you're driving the bus, where you've chosen the destination and you're deciding, I want to go in this, I want to go this way, I want to go in that direction. And it's not only that you have the impetus, and you will feel that, and you do feel that, and you will act on it, and you do act on it. And now this week, this week, you will start to do, you will start to apply the wisdom that you've learned and along this journey. And we have the we have the tower here, and I always say when we see this card, this is the universe paying attention to your life, but what this is also is not just, this is you paying attention to your life. This is you mindfully recognizing and realizing the things that are now necessary for you to do. And that is a whole game changer, because you've been living a certain way. I've been living a certain way. We've been living a certain way, because that's the way, that's who I am, or that's what I believe, or that's what I want. Now it's time to live a different way. And it doesn't mean that you quit your job and you leave your husband and you whatever. It doesn't, I'm not going on that. We're not talking about change in that sense. This is a shift in your awareness. This is a shift in your ability to apply yourself. This is a shift in you recognizing that you can, that you do have the goods, that you can create and manifest, and you can overcome, or you can do or be, or whatever it is you want to do or be. This is, and that is something that is, the thing, do you know what? We talk about ego, man. Ego, people talk about ego like it's some bad thing, yeah. We've all got ego. We are, that is a part of who we are. That is a part of you. And this is like the death of that ego. It doesn't mean that it's dead and doesn't come back. I mean, it's a part of you now that you believe, this is the way that I work. This is the way that I plan. This is the way that I approach things, for example. And this is you realizing that, you know what, the new stuff that I've learned, that my ego's learned out in the world, has taught me that there's a new way that I need to start approaching things. There's a new way that I need to start speaking about things. There's a new way that I need to start doing things. It's that's the death, the breakup, the shift, the change. You know how powerful. I mean, it's funny because, the cards are here. Yeah, I've told you the story. This is the story. I mean, the cards are here. But it's funny when you see, this is what the cards are saying, yeah? We've got the strength that you feel. I feel that strength here. Usually, you see this card, everyone shudders to say they see the tower. I say, universe paying attention to my life. I'm blessed when I see the tower. I always tell you that. But now, what is different is, just even without this, the power of this card, the strength that this is giving you, it seems like it's okay to not, yes, I've relied on practicing mindfulness, for example, for me. Yes, I've relied on practicing mindfulness that way for 7 years, but now it's time to practice it in a different way. Does that sound scary? You've done something for 6 years the same way, and then suddenly you decide that you need to do it a different way. It sounds scary, but it isn't scary, because you know that you can, because you've just walked that path and you realize the strength that you have. So this is like the dismantling of the old ego, the old stuff, yeah? And we have this, again, this is you wielding the stuff that you learned, the tools in our armory, the skills, skillfully applying our knowledge, our wisdom, our experience, skillfully applying that here to create, to manifest what we want. And that's what brings in opportunities. That's what we see here with opportunities. we see the opportunity of the Two of Wands. We see, do you know, the wand energy? You know, I'm a Reiki master. You know, my name's Key. I'm not going to change my name to Key because I love it when people call me Key. And my book will be, that's going to be my pen name, by the way. It's going to be by Key Wisdom. Isn't that? I'm loving it. I just love that. Anyway, Key energy. And that's what this card represents. And yes, I'm a Capricorn. You know, I was born on the 12th of January, so I'm a Capricorn. But the energy is what I it's how I vibe. Yeah, it's how I connect, it's how I feel. You can tell this is how I am. I've always been this way. My only ever nickname in life was hyperactive, because I've always had a lot of energy. And this energy, this is what we feel, the excitement. This is what you feel. It's not, you know, this is the movement, this is the action. You know, we're not thinking about acting. This is when we think, we contemplate, we consider, we weigh it up. Well, you know, we weigh things up. We try to come to decisions. Number 5 of swords is trying to come to decisions and changing minds. But anyway, you know, sword energy. We try. We look. We think. We you know, all that stuff with sword energy. This is the do. This is the goal. This is the act. This is a yes. I'm on. I'm moving. I'm. This is that feeling that we have. And this is look. He got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole wide world in his hands. That's you. That's me, baby. We got it. Because I mean, look, it's look, we're flanked by world. You know, it's the opportunities that it's not thinking about going toward, it's going toward. And I kind of feel like this is the foundation of it, really. It feels like there's been a lot of thought. You've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot. We've been, you know, philosophizing and trying to define and trying to decide and thinking around. And it feels like this is a foundation for the moves that are to come. And there are moves, real changes, real shifts in what you're doing. And it's skillful wielding, the skillful wielding of the new wisdom, the skillful wielding of the new experience that you have gained during, I don't know, whenever you're watching this, or the past whatever for you. You know, I mean, look at this, you know, I use the coronavirus as an easy example, as a metaphor, just so that, because we can all understand the timeline of that. But obviously everyone's lives and what's been going on beneath the surface of, and the rhythm of your life and the rhythm of your path that you're walking, the rhythm of your enlightenment and growth, that is what's the thing that's driving you forward. You are aware of that, right? You see that, right? You recognize that, right? You see the difference and you see how the difference it makes when I respond to my feelings, the difference it makes when I recognize my thoughts, the difference it makes when I identify objects that enter my mind and I look at them and this is discriminative awareness, and I could understand and decide the real impact of this past thought or the real impact of this memory. That's what we've been doing. We're moving forward now. So this is what's underpinning that beneath the surface. And I smiled because remember the last reading that I did a couple of weeks ago, this card came up. We had the 10 of, and this card came up in this position, right? It came up in this position of what's to come, like what's going to be coming ahead. And we had the 10 of Pentacles, and we also had the 10 of Cups. And I was thinking, I laughed when I saw this card because I was thinking about these two energies last night. I was thinking about the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. And I was thinking of the bliss of the 10 of Cups. I said, that's how I feel right now, having you know, I feel like the you know, the woman and the man and the children on the card, you know, looking at the rainbow. And I also feel this, you know, this is I talk about this as being your, you know, the thing that is promised, almost, you know, the thing that is promised, the thing that has been promised, the destiny, if you will, the outcome of the work, the outcome of the effort. Remember, Pentacles energy is all about where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest. It's about what we, the acts, the things that we do, the energy that we put in, the time, the thinking. But this is it's kind of like this is what's promised. It's beneath. It's kind of like what you get. I like to think about this card as your manifested destiny in a sense. This is the card of the 10 of Pentacles, and this is what's beneath the surface. It's kind of like this is what's pushing you, this is what's moving you, this is the divine feminine. And when you read, I've been doing a lot of reading and reflecting and meditating, when you read about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, in the they call the peaceful and wrathful deities, there's 48 peaceful and 52 wrathful deities, and they are basically it's in the context of anyway, basically they are divine masculine and divine feminine. So there's the divine masculine counterpart and divine feminine counterpart, and the divine masculine is always the thing that's pushing you forward, not pushing you forward, excuse me, that's a lie. The divine masculine is always the thing that's pulling you forward, that's in front of you and that's pulling you forward, right? That's the divine masculine. So that's why I always talk about the sun, you know, and I always talk about the sun as being where you're headed, where you're going, and that, because that's where it comes from. This is, you know, when we go back, we talk about astrology, we talk about these things, we talk about, and I always say to you, why is the sun masculine? Why is the, people don't know. Well, it comes, you know, from the practice of mindfulness and the teachings and in the tantras and the sutras and the teachings of the Buddhas. Anyway, I digress. So the divine masculine, the sun, is pulling you forward, always pulling you forward, always pulling you forward. And then it's the divine feminine that's the wind behind. I mean, they are intertwined within, if you will, but it's the divine feminine that's, I think of that as the wind behind you, the thing that pushes you forward, the thing that the wind behind your sails, if you will. And this is what this raw represents here. It's what's beneath the surface, I call it. It's what's beneath the surface. It's what's underlying everything. So this is that destiny, and this is that you, as I said, you're not feeling your way anymore. It's kind of like it's clear in your head now. It's clear in your mind now. It's clear in your body now. It's clear in your energy now of where you're going. You're the one who's driving the bus, remember? You've done you walk in the tantra path. That's the three, yeah? The three. You've done the first, you've done the second. Now you become the ground. You become the path. You become the driver of the boat, if you will. And this is the thing that's pushing you along, that we're feeling beneath the surface, that we're feeling. It's, you know that this is what's behind it. You know it's the destiny that's promised. You know it's the and we talk, and do you know what? Don't tell me about things that you want. Don't tell me about things that you desire. It's not about what you want. It's not about what you desire. It's about what you know is for you. That's what this is. It's about what you know is for you. That's it. And there's a difference there, isn't there? Yeah? I might want and desire, you know, do you know what? I stopped myself there because I'm like, do you know what? I'm not giving my secrets away. No. You know I'm honest, and I'll tell you. What do I want and desire? I don't know. I mean, anyway, but let me say. So, for example, I'll use an example. I'll use a frivolous example. I want and desire a nice. What do I want? A nice, fit, hunky. I can picture him. Anyway, right. So that's what you want. That's what you desire. You want this relationship. You want this job. You want this money. I don't know what it is you want. You want this business. You might want that in your head. That's fine. You're allowed to want what you want. You're allowed to want what you want. I'm allowed to want what I want. But this is not about what you want that's pushing you forward. This is about where you know you need to go, where you know you need to be. So you might want this nice, fit, hunky, whatever guy, this job, this plush, I don't know, whatever. You might want that. But you know where you need to go. You know what you should be doing. You know what you want to be doing. You know where you need to be. That's what this card is, because that's what's promised to you, right? So it might be that this takes you in a different direction. It's seemingly, if you look at it on the surface, it's taking you away from the man, or it's taking you away from the job, or it's taking you away from the thing that you want. You know, I don't know, popularity, success, I don't know, whatever it is, yeah? But that's the way you must go. I mean, listen, there's obviously some, you know, there's obviously some tussle. Let's say tussle. There's obviously a tussle that's going on though inside. Remember, this is that ego death going, you know, because you're so, yeah, you're like, I decided that I wanted this, or I used to always do this, or this is what I always do, and this is what I always did. But now I know, because I feel different, man. Like, I've lived this month, man. I've lived this life, man. And I'm feeling different, yeah. And I know that I need to go in this direction, but it's hard. It's hard to lose that. It's hard to turn off the Tinder profile, man. Like, it's hard to like put down the application forms, man. But that's the kind of tussle, but you know that that's what you need to do. You know, and it's not, listen, this is not a conversation that's going on in your head. This is beneath the surface, right? This is your body. This is your will. This is where you're being. This is the wind behind you. This is the thing that's pushing you. This is the thing that's moving you, and you are moving, and you are doing it. But you might have some of those conversations in your head, like, oh my God, like, is this the right thing? You know, like, but the difference is, you have your thoughts in your head. Is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? But the feeling is different, the pushing is different, the acting is different, the moving is different. So you can think and think and think, and that's fine, and you do, but you're still moving, you're still going, you're still doing. Because thoughts and I always tell you, thoughts and feelings are different things. I mean, hopefully you I mean, I only ever tell you the truth. So hopefully you believe me, and hopefully not only do you believe me, but you can identify. Not hopefully do you not only do believe what I'm telling you, but you feel that for yourself in your own body, in your own mind, when you observe your mind, when you observe your responses. When you acknowledge your responses, you hopefully will know that I'm thinking all this crazy stuff in my head. I'm thinking this, but I'm doing this, and I'm acting confidently, and I'm moving steadily, and I'm going toward the goal. But my head's still doing this thinking thing. That's fine. My head can do that because my ego is dying here, or the old ways are dying here. So the old ways are being transformed into the new ways. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what Dharma is. That's what's going on here. You're growing in awareness. You're responding to yourself. You're listening to yourself. So again, I love the brain, the thought. I love the brain. I love psychology. I love philosophy. I love the brain. But the brain is 1/8, a tiny part of your consciousness. I mean, you've got 8 different consciousness, and your mental consciousness, which I'm talking about, the brain that you have access to, if you will. That's 1/8, man. That's 1/8. So let's not put it all on the brain. And you kind of realize there's different dimensions in living here. Yeah, I can think, but I'm also feeling, I'm also moving, I'm also going, and that's what's moving you. And that's what this is. This is what these little this is the feeling, there's nerves. I mean, we're the inner child here, the vulnerable one here, this is we're starting afresh. Yeah, we're starting a brand new cycle. Yeah, we're starting a brand new way of thinking. Remember, look, this is the child that's born from this transformation. This is what comes out. Once the ego dies, you're reborn, right? That's cyclic existence, right? We come back, we're reincarnated. That's the cycle. Nothing ever dies. Nothing ever nothing. I don't care how long ago it lived. Yeah, it ain't gone from this universe. It still exists in this universe in some form or another. And this is you in your new form. This is us in our new form. Yeah, crawling out, covered in that. What's it called? That jelly stuff. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, this is us. But what we're doing, we're the inner child. We're a bit vulnerable, but we're masculine, innit? We're acting, we're moving, we're feeling that moving, we're feeling the urge to go, and we're going. And yes, I'm accepting. I'm allowing there to be. I recognise and acknowledge that there is a little bit of. I've always thought this way. Remember, 8's to do with your, or a karmic number, cycles. And this is 8, so it's always linked to karmic numbers. So this is cycles, the cycle of thinking, a way of thinking in a certain way, stuck in thinking in the same way, stuck thinking the same way over and over. The thing about it, what I'm feeling so buoyant about, is the fact that you're kind of like having fun with yourself in your head in a way where you're able to like hear it. You're able to. Usually these things go on unmumbled for years, man. So anyone who's ever suffered with anxiety, this is you. This was me in the years, in the years past. When you don't even hear it, you don't even hear what you're telling yourself. You don't even hear what you're telling yourself. It's gone out your head. You just think that you just feel your body's just tense, or your heart's just racing. You just think, I'm in this situation where there's loads of people, for example, and my body's racing and I'm shaking, or I'm going to see my family for the first time this year, and my body's just shaking. But you don't hear that's because all the thoughts that you've said constantly. It's the thoughts that you have, and the fears that you have, the fears that you think about. they become silent, but the effect of them just manifests itself in your body in anxiety. That's what it. So this is anxiety in a sense, but you're hearing them. That's the good stuff, yeah. So what's happening is you're hearing your anxieties. You're hearing it. So your mind is not silent, which is good. We're hearing the anxiety of this change, of this move, of this going toward my destiny, of this going toward the thing that is promised, the thing, it might seem so weird and strange that suddenly for example, this is just an example, suddenly you meet someone, you've been single for, I don't know, you're 42, 43, 44, you've been single all your life, you've been working all your life, you've been, bringing up, you might have children separately or whatever, you've been living, yeah, you've been doing a business, whatever. But over the time of this corona and all this stuff, you start to realise that, what, I can feel it's time for me to be with another person. I can feel it's time for me to move to this country or whatever it is. And so you kind of, and it happens, and you meet this person just like that. That's all it takes, And it's just that day. One day it's this day, and you're just living your life, doing your thing, chilling about. Then the next day you meet the love of your life, or you. Or the opportunity just falls into your lap, just then, just like that. When you've thought and you've imagined and you've been trying to get to it, and then all of a sudden it's just there in front of you now. Universe just gives it, just there. And you're going, oh my word, how the, what the, oh my, this, what, what, how, what? Universe, yeah, what, how, what, oh my, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, in your head. That's what you're doing in your head. You're going, what, what, how's this going on, universe, now? Universe, what you doing, And you're doing it, I can't, this thing, this man, this job, this thing, this here now, right? This baby, what? I've been trying for 3 years, what, this bit, what? I'm pregnant, what, that, Your brain's doing all that, but your body's like, yeah, man, this is me, yeah, this is it, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for, man. I'm on it, yeah, I'm doing it, I'm growing. That's what's happening here. That is what's going on. That is what it is. And even though your head's like, what? Nah, man, even though your head is in disbelief and your brain is still thinking the old way, you're going there. You're feeling it, man. You're going for it. Yes, Tiny's here. And what do I always say when Tiny's here? I always tell you, you need to pay attention when Tiny's here. What do you say, Tiny? Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Yeah. Right. Let's get back to the reading. So there. Oh, look, he's got his little paw on there. Look, he's got his little paw on that, ain't you, Tiny? Oh, that might be a good one, isn't it, Tiny? He's like, pay attention to that one. Pay attention to that one. Okay, we'll pay attention. All right, Tiny. Right, we've had enough. Okay, so then we have the Emperor. And the Emperor here. Now, next year, 2021, that's the year of the Emperor. This year's, excuse me, I'm telling a lie. This year, 2020, is the year of the Emperor, right? It's the year of number 4, right? So what did I tell you? Right at the back of 2019, what did I tell you? This year's going to be, what did I tell you 2020 is going to be? I told you that the year of the Emperor, the 2020, the year of number 4, what that is about our roots, it's about our structures and about our foundations. We've built a world. And this year is about looking at that world that we've built. And we get rid of the stuff that ain't serving our strength, our comfort, our security, that ain't serving who we are. We get rid of that stuff. And we only have in our lives the thing that serves our strength, security, happiness, balance. That's what this is. That's what this year's about. That's the journey that's the path that you're walking this year. That's the path that we're all walking. Isn't it, Tiny? Oh, yeah. It's the path we're all walking this year. Next year is the year of the Hierophant. The Hierophant. The year of the Hierophant. The year of the Hierophant. Hierophant's all about what rules am I going to live by now, okay? So I've decided and realised and recognised what's going to give me some comfort, security and strength. That's what we're moving toward. That's what we're feeling. Confidence, boss. This is what this card is, confidence, boss. It's about that from beneath the ground. From beneath the ground up. Not from the ground up, from beneath the ground up. That's this energy. So for us, for you, for me, this is like we're saying, do you know what it is, yeah? What is it that's going to help me to weather this life, this suffering? What is it that's going to help me to embrace the joy, the bliss? What is it that's going to give me that? We've done that thinking. You've done that thinking. We've done that thinking this year. Oh, yeah. And 2019. I mean, we can't talk. I mean, I always do a sign across it when I do 2019, because 2019 I thought were bad enough. We thought were bad enough, and then 2020 came. But what a year 2020 has been. Anyway, I digress. We're here now. We're here now with the Emperor. We're here now with the strength. We're here now. We're trying to build. We're trying to get rid of the stuff that's no longer serving. And it's not. This is not you trying to get rid of anything. This is not you. This is not you thinking with your mental consciousness, of which there are 8. With your mental consciousness, it's not you thinking, oh, with my conscious mind, oh, what do I need? No. You ain't on that path no more, babe. You're already going. You're already feeling. You're already moving. Okay, so let's look finally. Oh, and that one was below, I see, but I forgot to pick it out, but it's there. So let's see the final roll of the dice, the final, what can we expect? What can we expect to see? What can we expect? It's funny how I talked about foundations. This is number 9 is foundations, and number 4 is root, structure. Hang on, let me show you. 4th house, look, roots, underground, you see, that's number 4. Yeah, 4th house in astrology. Home, property, family, life, place of birth, the ground and underground. Roots, excuse me, the ground of all things, the ground of all consciousness. That's the first consciousness that you have. Anyway, and then roots, mother, father. But the 9th house, look, the difference, you see. 9th house, religion and philosophy. Higher learning, foreign countries, overseas travels, dreams, spirituality, synchronicities, in-laws. This is what so when I'm telling you, listen, I just tell you the truth. That's it. That's all I'm here for. You how you respond, that's you. That's on you, babe. That's not on me. This is where we're at. This is where we're going. These are the type of things now that are coming toward us. This is, look, I mean, listen, listen, right, I'm glad this card is here, and this is what Tiny had his finger on. Good boy, doggy. This is number 4. Remember, what year is it? This is number 4 as well. Transformation. I'm going to talk about this one first. Transformation. Let me ask you this question. This is why the death card is transformation. Look at this. This is wood. This was once a forest. There was lots and lots and lots and lots of trees. And one day, one tree was chopped down, and it was allowed to dry, prepared, and then carved into what they call a long neck village. I got this from in Thailand. Just before I did my meditation in a monastery, well, not monastery, but temple or whatever they call it over there. Anyway, this was a forest, right? And now it's a wood carving. Does the forest still exist? Does the forest still exist? Now, the answer doesn't really matter. Some will say yes, some will say no. And both people would be right? That's death. That's the forest dying. The forest died, some would say. That's what transformation is. Nothing ever, whatever it is, it could be anything. You tell me the dinosaurs, you can tell me, I don't know, Julius Caesar, you can tell me William Shakespeare, you can tell me anything. You can tell me the ancient Egyptians. You can tell me anything. You can say, Ruth, that's gone. Trams, old style radios. I don't know, whatever it is. It's gone, Ruth. It doesn't exist anymore. We don't use cassettes anymore, Ruth. They don't exist anymore. They're gone. They're gone. What do you mean they're gone? They ain't gone. They ain't dead. They transform. There's something else. It's something else. It's an idea. It's a memory. It's an image. It's a picture. It's a carving. It's a new form of technology. That's what this card represents. So don't you show me no. When you see these cards, people will misunderstand, or only understand. No, they don't misunderstand. They don't misunderstand. I take that back. That's not true. They understand this. But there's so much more to grow and learn in our understanding. This is a card of transformation. That's what this year 2020 is about. We've built this world. Now I've got to see if this is a world that I'm happy to live in. Now I've got to see if this is a world that's actually giving me security and the thing that I want. And if not, we transform. If not, we change. If not, and it doesn't mean, and it might seem like the end of the forest. Am I sad that forest no longer exists? I don't know if the forest exists or not. I don't know. Am I sad that the forest no longer exists? The forest is here in my hand. That's a beautiful thing, right? For me. We lose things. We seem to lose things. We think we lose things in death. No. Nothing, no person, no thing, no nothing has ever escaped this universe, apart from the Buddhas. But that's a whole other lesson. But anyway, they're still here, don't worry. Okay, so I digress. But this is where we're headed, yeah? Look at this. Just think. In fact, don't think, just feel where this is going, where this is leading. A rebirth, a new form, a new image, a new object, a new action, a new behavior, a new way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of being you. That's what this card represents. And as I said, we look at this and we go, oh, I'm scared, man. I'm scared to let go. That's how I always used to think. That's how I always used to be. That's what I always used to do. That's how I used to want. And it is hard. This is like me going, do you know what? Guys, I can't tell you. I'm scared to tell you even what's going to happen with Kiwis and Sarah. I'm scared to tell you because I'm like, oh, God. Like, I know that this is where I need to be. I know that this is but I'm scared. But we go where we go, right? We go where we go. Remember, we start with the number 9s here. Look at this. Religion, philosophy, higher learning. Higher learning. Higher learning, people. Listen, we ain't on the mundane anymore. We ain't in that level where we're like, I'm a body and only things that hurt the body is physical things. All right, people. I don't know. I mean, there are some people like that. The only sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Okay. I don't know if people still say that because obviously everyone knows it's not true. This is that higher learning. This is that understanding of, okay, there's more to me than what I see. There's more to life than what I see. There's more to the body than what I see. There's more to this opportunity than what I see, or there's more to whatever. This is what the number 9, it's those type of questions and those type of things that are come to our head that we engage with the number 9s. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Remember, Pentacles energy, where would you excuse me, Earth energy, Pentacles energy, where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest our security, right? What we build, why we build, how we build, the energy of building. And this is these are like the reasonings for that, if you will, the foundations for that. And it's kind of like seeing those things. It's kind of like recognizing those things. It's kind of like understanding those things. It's kind of like, knowing where your roots are, like knowing where they are, like beneath you. You can't. It's what they would call in mindfulness in Buddhism, imperceptible forms. So we've got forms, we've got visual forms, obviously like things that you see and objects that you can see. Obviously we've got audio visual forms, so things that you hear, etc. and sensations. But there's other, I love it. They have one called imperceptible forms, and it just defines imperceptible forms as, the things that are always around us. They're everywhere, all our lives. They're always around, they're imperceptible. We can't decide if it's a thing that we can see, or if it's something that we can hear, or if it's something that we can smell, or if it's something that we can touch. But it's something nonetheless that is there. It exists. It's real to us, right? And some people might call that intuition. Some people might call that feeling, a gut feeling, whatever you call it, you know. But it exists and it's real. And this is kind of like these things being seen, being revealed to ourselves, like us understanding the things that are moving us forward. You know, I remember I've had some, you know, when I started meditating, you know, many years ago, I started meditating when I was teaching, when I started my teaching, when I started my PGC. So I was about 25, I think, when I started training to be a teacher. And I didn't know that I was an empath, but I quickly realized that there was something going on when I was like around all these kids and like around all these people in this building. Like, it was just like energy wise, it was just, oh my God, I was wiped. So I started meditation, and at that point, and I didn't really, because we lived in a shared house then, and my housemate Darren, he had a book, and I think I might still have that book actually, and it talked, and it was basically an energy. It was basically like a Reiki book, really, but it didn't say Reiki on it, but it was kind of like working with energy and all that type of things, because I was starting to see things, if you will, you know, auras and that. So I could see someone, and it wasn't like a light around them. It was imperceptible, right? So I could like, oh my God, like this is an orange person, or this is a green person. And I would start telling people, oh my God, like you're a green person. Like, what do you mean? I said, I don't know, and I'd just talk. And I didn't know what I was saying, but I'd just say stuff, and they'd be like, oh my God, that's right, that's true. Anyway, so Darren gave me this book, and I started like putting a protection, because I felt really, you do that now, you know, as a Reiki, I don't need to do that anymore, but I used to have to do it a lot. Obviously, we can imagine being a teacher, because there's so much coming at you, and you don't know what, you're just drained, or you're just exhausted, or you just whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, it's, but again, imperceptible forms, right? I don't know why I started telling you this story, but that's why, because I've seen some stuff in meditation, and it was in meditation, or I wouldn't even call it meditation. I'd fall asleep, I'd drift off, you know, to sleep, you know, just on the top of the bed watching television, as you always do in your shared house. You're always in your own room, aren't you? Anyway, and then I'd have these like visions. They were dreams. They would, I suppose I'd class them as visions, but they were basically dreams, right? And I don't know, something would happen, and I'd be like, oh my God, and I'd wake up, like, start, and I'd be like, oh my God, like that just makes so much sense in my life. And it'd be something like random, I don't know, like whatever it would be, and I'd have this, and it would kind of like strengthen me, and it would kind of like help me. Do you know what I mean? It would kind of like help me carry on, or help me understand something, or help me be clear in my mind about something. And that's a long-winded way of saying that's the type of stuff that's basically we could be experiencing very soon. Okay, I know, are you like, Ruth, I cannot believe you sat there for 20 minutes telling us that story. For what? Well, that's for what, yeah? Listen, I you know what I'm like by now, please. Okay, so it's that type of experience with these number nines that we're going to be having, that are going to strengthen us, that are gonna, as I said, we're gonna know the roots, we're gonna know the purpose, we're gonna know the reasons why we want to go in these directions. We're gonna gain in that clarity and that wisdom and that understanding, and be strengthened even further by the things that we experience, We have the hermit here. You know, the hermit, you know what, if we talk about this hermit, I love the hermit energy, and I class myself as a hermit Buddha, even though I'm not a Buddha. I don't class myself as a Buddha, but I definitely class myself as a hermit Buddha. I've explained to you, you've got two ways, well, there's three jewels, but anyway, you've got two ways of really achieving attainment, right? Enlightenment and liberation, right? So the first way is a pious attendant, so that's to become a monk, for example, or to become a nun, for example, and to learn and to practice and to repeat the practices, and to repeat the meditations, to practice, you know, that is the pious attendant. And that will, if you do those things, you follow those practices, you follow those teachers, you have those empowerments, etc., you will hopefully in this lifetime, or in the next lifetime, or in the next lifetime, achieve enlightenment and be released from cyclic existence. Okay, reincarnation. The other path is the hermit Buddha. Now, I only literally found this definition of, I'm looking in my book, Liberation by Hearing in the Intermediate States, aka The Tibetan Book of the Dead. Can't stand that title, doesn't mean anything, but anyway, I digress. So I was looking at the book, and I was looking for it's got a glossary at the back of all these different words, and I just seen this term hermit Buddha, and I thought, what's that? And it said hermit Buddha, someone who follows their own natural predisposition on the path to become enlightened, to achieve enlightenment. And I thought, oh my God, that is so me. And I realized that, I was thinking about that card, meditating about that card, not the card, sorry, the definition that I'd read, and thinking about it and thinking around that and reflecting on the term hermit, Buddha, and da-da-da-da-da. And one, it tells you one thing. Well, first of all, there's people can have natural predispositions. That's good, because that's always been me. Like, I don't know why I did Reiki, but I just did. I don't know why I did this, but I did. I don't know what this feeling was, but I followed it and did it. Like that. So when I saw that thing, I was like, oh my God, hermit Buddha, that is so me. But what it shows really is a dedication to hearing, a dedication to knowing, a dedication to listening, a dedication to seeking, a dedication to finding, almost at the expense, for actual hermit Buddhas, for people that actually are hermit Buddhas or were hermit Buddhas, like, you ain't seeing those people. They're off, mate. They're gone. Yeah. I was doing my meditation. I was like, oh, should I? No, I won't share that. That's between me and you. That's between me and you. No, I won't share. It's just a nice moment that I had anyway in meditation. I won't share that because it was just funny, and it makes me laugh every time. But anyway, for the hermit, there's dedication. There's absolute focus on trying to hear, to listen. Now, remember what I told you the title of the book was: Liberation, Freedom by Hearing in the Intermediate States. The intermediate states, one of the intermediate states is this living, waking state. Another one is meditative concentration. Another one is dreams. Another one is death, etc. So these are the intermediate states, right? So liberation through hearing. So freedom from attachment to mundane things like past hurts and past things that have hurt us and da-da-da-da, but also from the whole of the cyclic existence and reincarnation, for example. Okay, so liberation through hearing. So the hermit is absolutely dedicated to hearing, to listening. And you might say, well, what, Ruth? To listening to what? To hearing what, Ruth? Well, the hermit also tells you that you've got a natural predisposition, right? So that you, within you, have got a way that you're moving, a way that you're going. And this is what you're hearing with the hermit. So there's a real sense for me of this hermit energy now. I see this card. I've always found it a very diligent card and focused card. But it's the absolute dedication to seeking, to finding out, to hearing, to listening to truth about what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, what I'm thinking, etc., whatever. So this is that, and this is also these type of actions and experiences that give us strength, that strengthen us, okay, that help us to bring through the transformation, to bring about the transformation that we clearly are ready to bring about. Okay, and then we've got finally the Two of Cups here. So look at this card. I mean, you know what, the Two of Cups, look at it, she's all the divine masculine, divine feminine in perfect union. So what did I tell you? I told you that divine masculine is literally pulling you. So when you read the tantras and the sutras that discuss the peaceful and wrathful deities, or the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? So you read it and it'll say the divine masculine. It doesn't say the divine masculine, it says his name, whatever. I mean, some of these days have literally got 13 syllables, and I am not exaggerating when I say that. I mean, honestly, I'm like, but and they're all like Sanskrit, Indian, if you will. So I don't know, like, I cannot say it. So, like this, like, but they really, like, in fact, the heart chakra, Anatatha. So that one's quite easy to say. I can say that one, Anatatha. So that's that's the divine masculine. One of the divine masculines within the heart chamber, right? So in this space in your body. So Anatatha, right? So and it says Anatatha, lead me forward. So Anatatha's the one that's ahead and pulls you forward. And then it says, and whatever the female equivalent is, I can't remember what it is because, as I said, they're really complicated to say. And it'll say whatever the female, lead me from behind or push me from. I can't remember the wording exactly. So that's how we always know, and it says it's repetitively for each. And there's, as I said, there's 48 there's 48 of these. So it's long. I mean, there's pages and pages and pages of each little prayer to each little divine masculine and each divine feminine. And look here, what we have here in perfect union. So if we have one that draws us, that pulls us forward, this is the divine masculine here pulling us forward, and the divine feminine behind pushing us, the wind behind us. And we have here perfect union between those. We have a perfect union between those. We have both working in the same, with the same, for the same, to the same ends. And with it being the cups energy here, this is about you, me, us feeling that, recognizing that, knowing that, feeling that we are, there's a harmony. There's a harmony between what I'm doing and how I'm feeling, what my actions are externally and what I'm feeling internally. There's a harmony between those two things now. This is what we see. There's a harmony here. There's balance here. There's balance here with the Two of Cups. So what we see when we have this transformation is that actually the path that you're walking, or the direction that you're going, and the things that you're doing, even if you're sort of questioning, not questioning, so the baby, it's just here, just arrives in front of you, like the opportunity or the business or whatever it is, just arrives. And you're like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? Thinking, stressing. But ultimately, you're moving and you do it. And you're starting to find, as I said, not just the ground, but beneath the ground. You're starting to really find the roots of where your roots are. And it's that's supporting you. It's the roots beneath all this that's supporting you. And it's that you're growing from. It's you're speaking from the roots. You're not just speaking from what's on the top of the ground, from everything that's above the ground that we can see. You're really speaking from the roots, from below. And as I said, some of those things are imperceptible. You might not be able to define it in a word or say this is what it is, and this doesn't matter. Doesn't matter about the word of it or what you can feel it. You recognize you can feel it, and it's pulling you in this direction and pushing you in this direction at the same time. That's harmony. That's bliss. That's transformative. That changes things completely. So, to be honest, I can't wait to do the next one to see what's going to happen. Because I say that these are timeless because they are timeless, in a sense of whenever you come at this is when you're meant to get this message, right? But it's nice in a sense to see the moving forward, to see us moving toward the new, to see us, sort of grappling in our minds, but ultimately the change gonna come, change has come, and even though change is kind of can create a level of anxiety in my mind, it's actually the roots that are moving me forward. I'm actually speaking from my roots. I'm actually coming, this is authentic, this is real, this is truth, this is life, this is the veins of it. And that's the thing that's propelling me forward. That's the thing, that's the area that I've got to go, that's the space I've got to go, that's the direction I've got to go. So I can't wait to see what's to come after this. All right, my darlings, well, I hope that you like this reading. I would be interested actually to see what you guys think about what I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the first part of the reading, about the tantras and the book that I'm writing. And I don't know. I kind of want to, I always feel like I want to talk about it. Like I could literally sit and talk for hours about this, about that, about the other. But I don't know. What do you guys want to listen to? What do you want to know about? What's, when it comes to spirituality or a spiritual journey, or is it more symbols? Is it more, but for me, I know where I'm coming from. I know what feels I know what feels right for me to go in direction wise. But I'd be interested to sort of hear what your thoughts are. Okay, my darlings, it's been lovely to be here with you on this Sunday afternoon. Well, it's not Sunday afternoon when you're watching this. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'll post it on Monday. I don't know why I tell you that, because it doesn't matter. It's because you'll just see it when it's there. So anyway, my darlings, I will be in my dreamer's notes. That's what my twin sister bought me the book, and I've got loads of writing books to write in because I write. I've always written since I was a child. And I've started writing it in my dreamers notes. It's all my tantras and my, you know, my book and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm excited to get back to that. And but I will see you again at some point, whenever the moment arises, to do another reading for everybody. Okay, my lovelies, have a wonderful time period. Be mindful, and I'll see you all again very soon with more readings. All right, take care, my darlings. Bye.